Alright, what's going on everyone? William from Update here. Welcome back to a brand new episode on the Discord.js bot coding tutorial. I believe this is episode number 13. Today we're going to be using MongoDB, which is a database. Now you can go ahead and use JSON as a database. However, it is not recommended for read and write, specifically write, because it is very prone to errors, and that is why we're going to be using MongoDB. And we're using MongoDB because it's simple to use and it is super useful, and there's no issues with read and writing. Absolutely amazing database. So the first thing we're going to need to do here is go ahead and download the client. We're going to be using localhost, so everything here will be local. So go to MongoDB. Click on try free. Everything will be in the description. Go ahead and register your account right here and get started for free. Now once you've done that, you get yourself MongoDB and just download it. So now when you download it, you will get this installer. Go ahead and go through it, install it, blah blah blah. And when you install it, make sure you have MongoDB Compass installed with it. If you accidentally unchecked it or didn't install it, you have a chance to re-download MongoDB without MongoDB Compass without actually reinstalling MongoDB. So click here, try free, from there, and you will be able to go ahead and download your MongoDB. So that was the wrong button, by the way. You click this one right here. So here you will be able to choose the proper MongoDB Compass version for you to download. So I have my MongoDB Compass right here. So what you're going to need to do here, alright, just with a quick little side note, is if you have MongoDB client installed already, but you can't seem to connect when you click connect, and that will be because I have no clue why, to be honest. But what you have to do is click repair here. Just wait for this to repair, and you're good. I don't know why, but it just works that way. But I already have finished all of that, so we can just simply go ahead and connect to our database right here. We're just going to use a local host, and everything is fine. So these are the database that I have. We're not going to be using any of those here because we don't need them. What we need is to code our own. So first, go to Mongoose npm, which is going to be linked in the description. Click this and then go ahead and paste it and install it. Now I already have it installed on the tutorial bot because it takes a while to install and I don't fancy waiting. I also created the file. A few changes that I've made since the last episode was the fact that I went to functions and put the functions.js inside a folder called lib. And what I've done here is just added a single dot here and a single dot here to make these double dots in order to load our files properly. And on index, we just added dot/lib/functions instead of simply dot/functions. These are all the changes that I've made. You can go ahead and copy and paste the code from GitHub if you want to, but that is pretty much all we're gonna have. So here in MongoDB, which is where we're gonna set up our schema or our model, is going to be here. So that is going to be setting up our database right here. So we're going to do const mongoose equals to require mongoose. Next thing we're going to need to do here is a config, sort of a thing. It sort of is a config. So equals to new mongoose dot schema, and the schema is going to be an object. So right here, inside here, we're going to need to do a guild ID, which is going to be a type of string. Now, guild ID, this is what's going to be stored as the key value. It is kind of like an object where you create, like, let's say const object equals to here, and you can say, let's say, guild ID is a string of blah, blah, blah. That is pretty much it. Except we're just giving it a type to say that it is a string, which is going to be a placeholder. And then we're going to also have prefix, which is also going to be a string. You can give it default value, but I'm not going to bother. So that is pretty much all you need to do here. And the next thing you're going to need to do is very simple, which is module.exports, and you're going to do mongoose.model and just go ahead and call this tutorial, and we're gonna just go ahead and pass in config. Alright, that's all good. That's set up. So now we need to go ahead. Alright, sorry for that cut. Now what we need to do is connect to our database. So it's really simple. First off, we're gonna need to go to our ready event. Go to here. We're going to do const mongoose again equals to require mongoose. And now what we're going to need to do is mongoose.connect, and here is going to be, now here's what you're going to need to do, so follow carefully. It's very simple. What you're going to need to do is a string. Inside that string is going to be MongoDB, hopefully I didn't mistype anything, colon, // localhost, because we're using localhost, by the way. We have localhost here, and you're going to need to do the port as well, which is 27017 with a colon, 27017, and that is pretty much it. What we're going to need is to give it into save it inside one of these collections here. That's pretty much it. Alright. And you're pretty much connected. There's another thing here that this will be deprecated. Normally this, just doing like this is deprecated, so you're gonna need use new URL parser and set it to true. Otherwise it'll just say like, hey, it's deprecated, don't do it this way, and you're gonna basically cause some errors. Let me just go ahead and put it here. There we go. Right, the next thing we're gonna need is error. So we're gonna need to go ahead and see to test if there's an error. And we're gonna just go to console.error, error. And of course, just go ahead and return the code just to be safe. Right, and then we're gonna just do console.log that our bot has connected to MongoDB, to know that the database is actually working. Alright, now we have successfully connected to our database. What we need to do here is we're just simply going to need to do bot. Since we're just going to use a wait here, bot.guilds.keyArray. Now, why we need to do this is because we need to set up the database, the table, the database table thing for each guild, because I want this to work in every single guild, and every single guild is going to have its own information. Like, let's say a user has, let's say, level 1 on, let's say, my testing server, but the user will have, let's say, level 30 on my official Discord server. That means every server, every guild is going to have its own information saved. And the key array is because bot.guilds will return a collection, a Discord collection to be exact, which is also a map. So what key array does, it's just going to go ahead and get that key from it. So for example, if you do something like let's say hello equals to new map, you would obviously do hello dot set, I believe that's what it is, and this will be the key value and this will be the value itself. So key array is basically this value right here. This is the key. So that's basically what it is. We're just gonna get every single one of them, and we're gonna go ahead and loop it using a for each loop, and it's gonna return ID, of course, because it's the key array returns the ID of the guild. So next thing we're gonna need to do here is we're gonna need to we're gonna go ahead and call in config with a capital C. If you can call it whatever you want. We're gonna need to do lib MongoDB. I don't know why auto completion is not working, but that'll do. So now what we need to do here is config.find one only, and which one you're gonna find is guild ID is going to be the ID, and you're gonna need to find the error and the guild itself, and use arrow function, and boom. And then you just go ahead and check if there's an error. Just go ahead and console.log the error. Now, if the guild exists, okay, if if the bot is in a certain guild, let's say for example it is on my testing server, but it is the testing server's database information and all that is not in my database, it's going to need to create that information and store it into my database. So that's what I'm asking it to do here. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask it to go ahead and save it into my database. Pretty simple. So constant new config equals to new config. This here is basically here. So new config is going to be an object because we're passing through our schema right here. So guild ID is going to be the ID because it's this exact loop, and we're going to need to use and then we're going to have prefix, and the default value would be our config, our static configs is prefix. JSON is a good database only if it is for static information. It is prone to errors if you write to the config. That is why I'm teaching you guys how to use MongoDB now, so that we can do XP and level and all of that later on and read and write to and from it without having any error issues. So that is why we're doing that here. And now once that is done, we're just going to return everything. We're just going to return it here and new config, and we're going to do save. Done. We're done here. We just save it. We're done. That is done. So if we start our bot now, if I can, real quick, there we go. If we start our bot now, I don't know why this is doing like this, but okay, there we go. Start our bot now. We can see it connected to MongoDB. If we go to here and refresh our databases, and we can see we have a tutorial and we have tutorials. This is our bot. This is my guild ID for a testing server. This bot is currently only in one specific, currently only on my testing server. As you can see, I copied the ID here. It's the exact same. So that's how that works. Now, I was going to end the video here, but let's go ahead and show you guys how to do this and set up everything on the message event so that the prefixes work on different servers as well. So what you're going to need to do here is we don't need to connect to the Mongoose database again. So what we're going to need to do is put config for lib MongoDB here as well. What we're going to need here is we're going to need to change this in a moment, but what we need is config.find1 and the guild ID again, and the guild ID will be message.guild.id obviously, and from that we're going to need to find, we're going to have to pass in the parameters of error and the guild, and we just go ahead and do if error return, well not return, console.error error. We don't really need to return that here. And then we just need to go ahead and copy and paste, well, cut and paste all of this code inside here. And what we're going to need to do here in prefix, instead of config.prefix, we just replace that with guild.prefix. Now, I'm not sure if I'm still using this anywhere. If I am, then I'm not going to need it. Then let's see. Config, let's see, okay, config, let's try searching everything with match case. Okay, we are not using it anywhere. We can completely remove that now. Alright, so we completely remove the config there, and we have this one right here. Perfect, so everything here should be working perfectly. Everything's good. So now what we're going to need to do here is, if we restart our bot now, it should work just as fine. So I believe there's a command code tutorial, and let's see if our bot is started yet. Alright, started. Now if we do tutorial here, it should still work. There you go. Now if we put this on a different prefix here, let's say this, and we update that, and if we do tutorial here, it won't work anymore, and we need to do a question mark instead, and this is basically our new config. Perfect. So now if I put my bot on a different server, let's say on my Synop Node server, I won't do that because it's a little bit dangerous. If my bot's token gets leaked, my server will be damaged. However, this is a testing server, so nothing will be lost. So yeah, but yeah, if my bot is on a different server, I can change the prefix for each server without any issues. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned how to use MongoDB and how to use prefixes on different servers. So that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I will be making videos every so often when I have time. But other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next episode.